Hey guys, it's Sadie. Welcome back to the Hear Me Out podcast. Today I am joined by two of my best friends at University of Oregon. What are your names?
Hi, I'm Libby.
I'm Lily.
And we all met from, Lily and I met because we were in the same dorm freshman year, but generally we all got pretty close through our sorority. So we thought we'd do a little bit of a debrief because we all lived in our sorority house this year, which has been quite a fun experience. So, and we're moving out in 2-3 weeks. So figured no one better to come on and do a fun little chat than you guys. Okay, to start us off, do you guys want to repeat your names, say where you're from, and then say your go-to conversation starter thing during recruitment when you have nothing else to talk about?
Okay. Hi, I'm Libby again. I'm from Boulder, Colorado. And honestly, I'm not a good recruiter, so I didn't have a lot to talk about always. And I took pointers from a lot of the older girls. I would always ask what reality TV show you'd be in because, I don't know, I feel like it says a lot about a person. And because I always say either Below Deck or Survivor. Those
Very different.
Yeah. And I feel like I got a lot of Love Islands, which is interesting. I know at that point we're probably gonna be different vibes, but
yeah, true.
But also fun to hear.
Okay,
still.
yeah.
All right, I'm Lily. I'm from Westland, Oregon. What I talked about during recruitment when I couldn't come up with anything else is we talked a lot about YouTubers and our favorite YouTubers, and everyone said Emma Chamberlain, of course, but there were some fun people that said David Dobrik or something. But yeah.
Did you know they were your spirit animals, or is that just not a thing? What would be your dream answer where you were okay, you're me?
Emma Chamberlain is so broad, but I do think that she's my favorite person to watch. So probably Emma Chamberlain.
She's
yeah,
also,
I kind of
the only
agree.
one that hasn't really been canceled because mine was always David Dobrik, but he was canceled.
Yeah.
Cody Co canceled.
Low-key Shane Dawson.
Shane Dawson canceled.
Yeah, Jeffree Star canceled. Jake Paul.
Jeffree Star's on the up and up though.
Yes.
Jeffree Star is back.
He is back.
Yes, he is back. I agree. I don't know. I went through a massive YouTube phase when I was younger. I feel like I don't really watch it as much now. It's kind of my friends that I watch or my sister, just because it's if people make montages of college or summer, and that's kind of what I'm into.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Okay, in terms of, again, centering kind of around the house, we have a 1-year live-on requirement at UO, technically 2. When you guys went to recruitment, how did you feel about that? Was that ever a consideration of whether or not you would go through recruitment? Was whether you were nervous to live in the house?
Honestly, for me, that was actually a big reason I ended up rushing. I didn't want to go through recruitment at all. You guys know my mom kind of made me, and part of that was my sister is a junior right now, so she's a grade above us, and she's in a different sorority. And she lived in, and they cost comparison to at least the dorms, houses are different. You can get it a lot cheaper, but they were it's a lot cheaper for you to live in the sorority than it is than what we're paying this year in the dorms. And it's a good option because you get food and utilities and you don't have to pay for the summer. So the financial aspect was one that I that made me want to go through recruitment. And then also just it was so nice, and I knew from beginning of October where I was going to live, and I didn't have to deal with all the weird social stuff.
Yeah,
and, trying
the
to find
scramble of trying to find a lease, exactly, and you've known people for a month, and you don't know if it's gonna go downhill, or even if you are good friends, you could also just not live well together. So that's always really stressful. It's a whirlwind right when you get to college, and that was just one less thing to think about versus a lot of my friends who were on the semester systems, and they don't have the same live on requirement, or at least sophomore year they were freaking out, and there definitely wasn't an easy experience across the board.
Yeah, I also feel half the time it's most people end up signing with their roommate, or that's what I feel like they do.
Yeah.
But then by the end of the year, half the people I know of couldn't stand their roommate. Yeah. So now you're locked into a whole nother year living with them.
Yeah.
So it was nice to not have to deal with that.
My cousin, since she lived in the house, I came and visited her a couple times, and I also didn't want to go through recruitment at all, and I didn't really want to be in a sorority either, but coming down and hanging out with her and her friends the seniors now, for like a couple weekends, I was like, this is what probably is like the most fun to them, is like actually being in the house and like getting ready for games and just being silly on the weekends. And that's what sounded the most fun to me. And that is exactly how it has been. So
It's funny because all of us aren't the quote unquote, I won't say like typical person to go through recruitment, but I know each of us have been told at some point, oh, I can't see you going through recruitment. Oh, I'm really surprised. Our house mom just told this. Kim
Really?
just told us this the other day. Yeah.
oh yeah, she
The two
did.
of you, really?
Yeah, she was
Yeah.
like, I'm laughing thinking that you, like, I'm laughing picturing you guys on Convo Day. I just
Yeah.
can't see you doing it.
Yeah.
No. I feel like from an outside perspective, I seem like the perfect candidate to be in a sorority, but then like everyone back home was so, like I got so much, can I swear?
Yeah.
I got so much shit for it at work. Like they, like in a joking way, but it was all like, they were just really surprised. They were just like, this is not you at all. Like, what are you going to be, like a frat sweetheart now? And I'm like, no.
Next
No.
up, White Star Court.
Yeah. Oh my God.
If you had to be a sweetheart somewhere, you like yours an obvious answer, so like you're out of this. She's dating someone in Sigma Nu, but high school sweetheart too.
Yep.
Shout out.
Shout out.
shout out. Max. If you had to choose, what like court would you be on?
That's so hard because I like actually wouldn't want to be on any. And no hate to like the frats,
Well,
but like a little hate
or
to the
all
frats.
hate.
But like I also just like would never want to be. I'm like no hate to sweethearts, but I'm like it feels like you're like at their beck and call. Like I don't need to do stuff for you, but probably. Oh, I would do like beta.
yeah.
I would do beta. They're fun. They do house shows.
Yeah.
That'd be like the
Yeah.
guys are nice.
Yeah.
I don't know any of them personally, but like overall their vibe is nice.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'd be the same. Again, back to the house. What were your expectations going into the year?
I don't know. I actually kind of came in with like an open mind, and I didn't really have any expectations because I knew it was gonna be.
I don't want to.
Are you sneezing?
No, I feel like I have to burp, but I don't want to do it in the microwave.
Microwave. Yeah, I kind of came into the house with like no expectations, and I had an open mind, and I kind of just like went with the flow, and just what happened. Yeah, I don't know. What about you?
Yeah, I kind of didn't have super big expectations. I knew it would be like a lot. It would probably be like overwhelming at times. But I didn't. I don't know. I always knew that I would like have my own room and stuff. So
Yeah.
it was never like something I was terrified of because it honestly was such a step up for me from like my dorm experience that I was pretty excited to move in.
Yeah. I kind of agree. Same thing. I knew it was going to be a lot, and I just knew myself as a person and how I would need a place to go to if I was ever like overstimulated. So all three of us actually have our own rooms. Why was it really important for you guys? I know what my answer was. Kind of same to like what I was saying, but and also just kind of a step up from the dorm experience, but why we were grinding on house points.
Yeah.
So why were we doing that?
Well, me personally, I feel like I'm a very introverted, extroverted person. Like I like to hang out with everybody and be around people, but I absolutely need to have my alone time. And I go to bed really early, and that would be kind of awkward with a roommate because it was last year, and my roommate last year would be up on her phone for hours while I was asleep for hours, and I'd wake up at like midnight and she's still awake, and that's just kind of like I feel bad that the lights are off and she's just looking at her phone, and I wouldn't want to go through that again because it was awkward. And yeah, I just like to have my own space and my own space to have my own time and do what I want.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same. I guess introvert, extrovert. Like, I really like having the ability to go out and be social, but I also really like that I can just go to my room and be alone. And I also like, honestly, I know myself, and I realize like I'm a good roommate when it comes to like obvious roommate stuff, like decently, like I'm aware and considerate of other people's space, but I know I'm not the perfect roommate because I just get so like I just can't be in close quarters with people for so long and not like get annoyed.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I don't want to do that living in. Sorry, I'm cracking my knuckles. You can definitely hear it.
All good.
But like, I feel like in the sorority houses, like there's no escape. Like, if you make an enemy of your roommate, you still live with them, you're still in the same sorority. Like, I wouldn't want that to be the case.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
really nice to have my own space and not have to worry about, like, hating my roommate.
I know a lot of people they can't wrap their head around having a single room though in a sorority house for like both from the perspective of people, I'm talking about people wanting to live with people, but then also kind of outsiders outside of Greek life or even at other schools that are in Greek life that live in literal compounds and they have to have roommates if they don't all live on like a sleeping porch.
Yeah.
They're always so confused when I say I have my own room. They're like, wait, what do you mean you have 55 girls living in a house? How does that even happen?
Yeah.
It is really shocking because our house doesn't look that big. Like, from the outside, it kind of looks like definitely on the bigger side for a family home, but it, like, doesn't seem like something that, like, I wouldn't be that surprised if, like, one family lived there. But then when you go in, it's like the tent in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
It feels like that. Where
Yeah,
it's
when they're
like,
at the Quidditch Cup.
yeah, it, like, looks small from the outside, and then you go in, and it's, like, there is a lot of space. Like, we have a full commercial kitchen. Kim, our house mom's,
has
apartment in the back.
Yeah.
And then, like, technically 4 floors. Because, like, the basement, main floor, second and third.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it's just, like, it doesn't look like we'd have space for 55 girls and some to have, like, their own room, but, like, it is pretty big.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm putting myself back in house tour as like going through the other side of recruitment territory and how lost I felt in the house and how like it just kept going.
Yeah.
And you never knew where you were going. And now I'm like desensitized to that. But then even when like our moms were in the house like for Mother's Day, like for the first time and stuff, or my mom just saw it for the first time this year, she was like, I need a map. Like, I don't know where I'm going. I can't find you. I don't know where your room is.
Yeah.
So that's always a thing.
Yeah. I feel like when we moved in, it took me forever to remember where my hallway was.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. Because I always would walk past it and go towards the study room. And I'd be like, oh, that's not my room. And I'd have to turn around. And during recruitment, we kept that door shut. So then in my head, it was just a blank wall. And I just walked right past it.
Yeah. Speaking of recruitment, how different is that going to be next year, not living in the house? Like, can you guys talk about recruitment when specifically you're in the house and you can't get away after hours?
Yeah. Well, what I thought was the craziest is, like, we were in the house all day long,
Literally
but
24/7.
could not go up to our rooms.
Yeah.
And if we
True.
did, it was like to get Advil. Like, literally, like, we could only go up there if we needed to absolutely grab something. Like, we weren't allowed to hang out up there. We were hanging out in the basement the entire time. That was what I thought was crazy. Because, like, what do you mean we can't go hang out in our own rooms in our own house? Like, that was what was crazy to me.
I also thought it was weird for me since my room was one of the rooms that was shown during house tours.
True.
So I had to, like, half of the, like, they took out a lot of my stuff. Like, all of my products and stuff were gone that day. I mean, it was only, like, one day. But, like, since we can't have any...
Like, name brand stuff? Is that what it is?
Yeah, like, no name brand, which makes sense. You don't want to be, like, drawing
Promoting.
PNMs in with your Gucci perfume. Like,
Right.
that's kind of,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
It's not what it's about. But, yeah, like, we didn't... Like, half of
Where
my
did they
stuff was
put it?
gone.
It was in my room.
I put it in Lily's room.
Oh, right.
Mhm. And, like, that had to be, like, very clean. And it was just, like, weird because there was so much foot traffic through my room.
Yeah.
Like, so many people sat on my bed that week, which was, like, kind of gross.
I was going to say, were you freaked out by that? I'd be washing my sheets.
Well, no. I was so tired. I mean, after that day, I think I did. But...
I wouldn't have even cared. I would have honestly just gone to sleep.
I definitely did. Because that was, like... That day was long.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even in that many parties, but, like... I was only in... How many were there? I don't know.
On Convo Day?
Like, on Convo Day?
No, on membership. The house tours.
Oh.
What's the max? We had the max
maybe it
amount of
was-
parties. Like,
it was,
6
like-
to 8, maybe?
No, it was,
Yeah.
like, definitely, like... Oh, maybe max 6.
Was membership not split up into 2 days?
Because you go...
No,
I
it was
think
just one. Because
Okay,
we only... Because I would have had 2 dresses if it was 2 days, I think.
Oh, yeah.
you go from 6 to 3 for pref,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
3 is the
Yeah.
max for pref.
Yeah. Yeah, I was only in, like, half of those parties, but it felt so long.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just exhausted, so I was like, I couldn't even think about it. I was like, I just gotta go to bed.
Yeah.
And I also, like, it was just on my comforter. Like, I was
Right.
like, okay, it's not that bad. Because, like,
Yeah.
if they were getting in my sheets, I would have had a real issue with that.
Well, I saw.
Imagine.
I know.
Imagine you walk up during recruitment and the P&M is curled up in your bed.
I think I'm just gonna go in here real quick.
But it's even gross to think about people like, because I don't know if I don't think I did this, but like I saw girls like kind of sit on people's pillows, like lean up against pillows and stuff, and like
Yeah.
I don't know if I would like that.
When P&Ms take their shoes off and their dogs are on the
Oh,
bed.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, that did happen a lot, yeah. Oh, I didn't think about that. Now I'm just laughing at the thought of P&M.
Imagine.
That would, like, obviously that would, like, be really off-putting. But it would be such a funny. I kind of wish that happened because that would have been such a funny story to tell for years and years.
Yeah. What are funny? Like, were there funny recruitment stories that you remember being like, oh wait, yeah.
The one girl, we let her in, not let her in, but we gave her a bid. She got a bid. But the one that was dabbing,
I don't know. I don't remember that.
yeah,
She
Yeah,
dabbed
there's-
when?
during recruitment,
Every
everyone
time
was like,
she
she's
left,
so awesome.
every time she left, and you know when you're saying goodbye,
Yeah.
and it's like, have a great day or whatever, she would go out the door and say, like, she'd be like, bye, forearm extended dab.
Wait, that's awesome.
I forget who that was, but
It might not be somebody who's actually in it, but it might. I don't know. But I remember everyone was like, that was so funny.
I think
In a good way, though.
the funniest thing that I saw was when we were in the door lines. I was like the person closest to the door, so my body was like right up against the wall, and one of the P&Ms tried to slide into the door line.
Yes. That was funny.
That was
remember
really
Actually,
funny.
that
was really
Yes,
funny.
and she was like, "Wait, whoa, what am I doing?"
okay, yeah, at least she acknowledged it
Yeah.
and was like, but when it's, again, you just gotta own it and play
Yeah.
it off, and then it's chill, and then it's like, oh yeah, I remember you, because if anything, like, you have to make yourself memorable during recruitment,
Yeah.
and so if you make it memorable
Well, that's
that
why
way,
the
then
dab
it's
was good.
Yeah,
Yeah, 'cause
People
seriously.
were like, okay, this girl's like fun, and she's like making her mark.
Yeah, seriously.
Didn't someone gritty out every day too?
I wouldn't be surprised.
I think
That's also kind of
yeah,
funny.
and I have a name. I won't drop it and make fun of
Oh,
them.
sorry.
I feel like we have to clarify that we're not making fun of people. Like, this
No.
is just
No.
a genuine like appreciation.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
these are some of our good friends
Yeah.
now. But yeah, one of our
Yeah.
current members grittied out every single day. Were there other recruitment stories that like not our own personal stories, but that other people told you that were like, oh, remember this time, or heads up?
Oh,
Ready?
okay. One girl told me like she had just come from this house or whatever, and she was like, I was just talking, like I was pulled into a room with just the president.
Yeah.
Like it was just me and the president, and
Yeah.
she was like, I mean, I don't think the girl knew what bid promising was, but she was like, yeah, it was like just me and her in this like intimate space, and like the fireplace was on, and like she was like, I can't wait to see you back here tomorrow, and it was like just weird energy.
I
Yeah.
remember that too
Yeah.
as well.
Shocking amount of dirty rushing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shocking.
And I feel like we're pretty good. Like, I haven't heard any reports or cases, and
No.
during
No.
recruitment we are told, like, you can't even say like, see you tomorrow, or like, I really like you, or anything like that.
They
when you're
can't
going
even
out the
leave with a
door.
cup of water.
Yeah, they can't. Yeah, wait, didn't someone almost pass out? And so
Yeah.
we like
Oh,
gave them,
yeah.
because it was really warm.
Yeah.
But then it's considered giving them a gift if
Yeah.
you give them a glass of water and then they leave with it.
Yeah.
And so then you have RCs, recruitment counselors. Some people call them pie guys, but that
I've only ever heard Rogam. They're like
Yeah.
Rogam other schools.
pie kai, Rogam, yeah, and they're standing right at the door, and so
watching you,
the
like,
pressure
hawk.
of like biting your tongue, but also having a good send off and just saying, I really enjoyed talking to you, or something like that.
Yeah.
What was the go-to? Have a nice day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was what I said.
I thought it was really hard to not say see you later because I feel like that's like my go-to.
Yeah.
When I
thing.
talk to anybody.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Could you get fined what, like $75
Yeah.
if you say see you later?
Yeah.
The fining is what's crazy to me. And like if you're off on opening the door or you're doing the songs by like however many seconds, you get fined for that.
It's
Like
like-
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
I forget if it's like 5 or 50, but it's like counted by the second.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
it might have been like $50 per second or $5 per second. But I
No,
think
it was
50.
It was something like
50,
50.
or if not even more. I think it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Everything had to be to the T, and I think that was one of the most
Yeah.
insane things going
Yeah.
through the other side of recruitment with work week.
Yeah.
Was yes, obviously you don't dirty rush, you don't bid promise, and what that means and looks like,
Yeah.
even the things that you don't expect. but specifically the fines with time was
Yeah.
insane. And then you really just so many things start to make sense
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
the other side. You know what I mean?
Or not
Yeah.
make sense.
Or like,
Like what?
I don't know. A lot of it didn't make sense to me and still doesn't make sense
Well,
to me.
and also just like, I won't say them because they're secret, but like, I guess just the different tactics sorority use kind of to like, because the vibe at each sorority is really different during rush,
Yeah.
and like you think that's just because of the people, but then you kind of get in and it's like, no, like they are curating this, like with the way they walk people around, the words they
Yeah.
use, like it is, I think you try and be as natural as you can,
At least
But
that's
it's-
ours.
but even like
Yeah.
the naturalness is almost
fake.
fake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you're thinking about being natural, and then that's
Yeah.
obviously not
Mhm.
natural. That's
Right.
so that's not
Yeah.
counterintuitive, but the opposite exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
Very
It's
true.
all very curated, like just
Mhm.
everything's planned to a T.
Yeah.
Even when you may not think it is.
Everything down, like your outfits are approved,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
and they're approved day of. So
Yeah.
if you don't
that
have
was
something,
literally
that was my
the
worst experience.
The outfit approval was the scariest thing ever. All my outfits were approved. They were like really liked them or whatever, but I was literally like, because we had to line up and like go in and show them each of our outfits, and like as I was doing it, I like felt so much like pressure to like go fast, and it was just scary
Yeah.
because like they're intimidating. They're like, I don't know, just there are
Yeah.
recruitment chairs are just kind of intimidating, and I literally broke out like in a stress rash, and they were like, it's okay. Like,
yeah,
and
Like,
I was
you're
just-
fine.
I was just like, I'm gonna do this with like brown boots, and then this with blah, 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 and I was just like speaking really fast and like sweating and like broken out, like I was so red.
and you're constantly
were
just
like-
like see the vision,
Yeah.
like please, like
Yeah.
I'll throw accessories in.
Yeah.
What you're selling yourself
And I
to
was
them.
Yeah.
And they liked all my outfits, and I didn't even really need to explain myself, but I don't know, it was just really, that was like one of the most stressful parts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. One of your dresses, they said you couldn't wear it, right?
Well, I had texted her over the summer knowing that I was going to pack it and bring it because I wouldn't have brought it otherwise. And she was like, oh, yeah, like that's perfect. Like bright colors are awesome. Like that dress is perfect. And I was like, all right, great. And then I show it to her, like got in
Day
line.
of.
Day of, and she's like, awesome, perfect, looks good. So then I go about my day, and then she texts me. She's like, hey, will you come back downstairs? I'm like, sure. And she was like, we decided that your dress is too bright. I didn't have another option.
Yeah, and
so,
then you're scrambling, going through everyone's closet.
Yeah, and I ended up wearing, because we were doing like colored dresses, and I didn't have literally anything else to wear, so I had to wear a white dress. And like, I remember one of the recruitment chairs, she was like, I mean, I guess if you have to. And I'm like, I do
Give
have
me a
to.
dress. Let
Yeah.
me go in your
Yeah,
closet. Like drive me
seriously.
to your house
Yeah.
right now.
Exactly.
It's hard because I feel like, especially with the recruitment chair, it's constantly a process of separating the person from the position. And you know, they're just trying to get a good group of girls who are genuine and just like fit our vibe. So like
and we'll
we all
just get along with like the other girls. I feel like.
Exactly. And so, but then the process of how to get there and how to put your best foot forward, it is very much like one way or the highway. And so, yeah, it's intense for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that was a lot.
I'm kind of gonna miss it this year.
Yeah.
Even though it's hell, even though you're really tired and you lose your voice, like I do really like meeting people, and it's definitely a bonding moment. How like almost a trauma bond.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, it is.
It will be weird not living there and like getting to go somewhere else and not be stuck there. I mean, you're still stuck there all day, but like
Which is almost worse because you literally can't go back to your house.
yes, 'cause,
Yeah, and you have to pack everything for the
For
day
the
and
whole day.
not forget anything. Yeah.
because especially like work week recruitment, yeah, you're just in the basement. Everyone's in the basement, but like work week, there were times that like lunch, I would sometimes go eat in my room because I was like, I just can't like talk to any more people.
Yeah.
When we don't live there, it's you can't
Do
you're,
that.
You're kind of stuck there. I
Yeah.
guess if you had a car, you could like people would go and get coffee, but
Yeah.
I couldn't even call my parents though. I genuinely didn't want to talk to anyone.
Yeah.
I was my body started shutting down.
Yeah,
I would
no, it
just
was
go
nice.
and stare at the wall and eat the provided lunch.
Yeah.
We, like, it was-
Literally.
and so I felt so bad for people who were on the porch and didn't have their own room. I was like, this is what I got it for.
Yeah.
I was just so done. But
Yeah.
yeah, before we talk about moving out, because that honestly is really sad. Sadder than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
What is like one of your favorite, if not your favorite memory in the house? Do you have a day that comes to mind when I say that?
This isn't like a favorite memory because I don't remember it, but it's like my favorite. Like it made me laugh so hard, and it's literally just what I did.
Mm-hmm.
My sleep talking moment on the couch.
Okay, yeah.
That like.
Yeah, that video's so
It's
funny.
so funny.
Insert the video.
Yeah, literally.
So I came back from going out and I showered, but didn't want to like go to sleep with wet hair. So I was like, oh, I'll go down to the TV room, watch a movie for a little bit. And I put on Where the Crawdads Sing, which I don't know why, but like
It's kind of intense.
I just did, and I like that. I don't know. I don't even really like particularly love that movie, but like it was just calling my name, I guess. And then I was there, and I fell asleep on the couch, and our two friends Eva and Anna came back, and they saw me sleeping on the couch. They go to wake me up, and I'm like basically in a trance of like half asleep, half awake. So my eyes were open, but like I was completely unaware of like anything around me, and I was just like actually talking the most insane gibberish.
It actually made no sense.
Made no sense. I kept like, I don't even know.
She made up her own language.
I was talking about Adobe Jam and drag shows and
How long was the video? I think I only saw a
like,
clip of it then.
like 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
did you ever
I saw
wake
like
up?
30 seconds.
Well, by the end, that's the funny part is in the video you see me like come to, and they're like, Libby, you made no sense, and I'm like, you're lying. Like, why are you like, what are you saying?
Are you gaslighting me?
Yeah, it like felt like that, and I was like, what are you talking about? They're like, we have it all on video, and then I like was like, oh okay, and I go upstairs and I like watch the video, and I literally have like tears streaming down my face. I was laughing so hard because I was just like, no way, and it was like within the next 5 minutes. I was like, 5 minutes ago I was possessed, like fully possessed, and now I'm
Sleep
like that.
paralysis, Steven.
Yeah.
That experience goes hand in hand with when we brought her back from spring game, and she was sitting on the couch and she was laying there. She's like, who? Like pretend like she was gonna not pretending. She was acting like she was gonna throw up. And Rose, our friend Rose, was in there. She's like, Libby, are you gonna throw up? And Libby's like, nah, I'm chill. And she just like went back
dry heaving on the couch.
I don't even think I was going to. I don't know what was happening, but I was just like, ugh. And then she was just like, and I was like, the way I said it to her too was like almost like offended. I was like,
what?
Like, I'm fine. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
That couch definitely has seen good, bad, and ugly times.
Oh,
it's just the center of life.
And
I feel like
it's perfect. It's so comfortable. It's probably really gross, but like, it's so comfortable.
Yeah, I can't think about it too much. Same thing with the blankets that are always in the TV room. Like, I can't think about it too much.
Yeah.
But so if I'm like after the gym or something is my favorite time to go because I already feel gross. So then it's like I could take a nice little nap, like just, and no one
couch
cares.
nap, a TV room couch nap.
Also,
It's great.
the couch is super comfortable.
It's so comfortable.
Yeah.
And
I
like,
feel like I just like melt into it.
yeah. Well, probably because like 1,000 butts have sat on it. More than 1,000 actually.
Yeah.
Definitely more than
Again,
1,000.
recruitment.
Yeah.
Like you're sitting on that couch as well. So
Oof.
what's like something that went down in the house that no one would believe if you told them?
Oh. Wait, I don't know.
You were quick with it. Oh
well,
my god.
because I have been thinking about it. Wait, that's weird. Wait, I remember.
We don't put this
Yeah.
in.
We need to do a tell-all senior year
Yeah.
because I want to be able to like put things in that we obviously like haven't been able to say.
Yeah.
This is very much like a walking the line of PC.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
The time that I don't think I went out, but I was back like pretty early on in the night, and I woke up randomly in the middle of the night
Oh yeah.
to hearing like screaming on the floor above me. And honestly, like in hindsight, my thinking was so bad, but I was pissed off. I was like, oh my god, somebody is screaming upstairs. And I was like, I never want to be the person that walks up and is like, please quiet down. But like it gets to a point where I was like, this is like, I can't go back to bed. This is crazy.
Yeah. But also just because like so many people go out, like we're a very social sorority, so people do run around just screaming at 2 a.m. for fun.
Yes.
So I also can't really blame you for jumping to that conclusion if people were just doing it recreationally.
Yeah, it wasn't like a first for it to be super loud.
Right.
But then I'm trying to go back to bed and just ignore it because it's like I'm not gonna walk up and say, be quiet. But I start to like actually listen to what's being said, and I just hear help me, and I like jolt up. I'm like, oh my God. And my first instinct was like, I was worried somebody was like dangling from the window above me. So I like looked out my window. Thank God there was no one there. But then I run upstairs, and I don't even know. It's in, like, I follow the voice to we have like a live-in requirement for 4 of our like main exec members. It was during fall term, so it was the exec before us. It was her room, so she
Sorry, that was louder.
she wasn't there. Like, they don't really sleep there, but they have a room at the house, and it was in that room, and I knew it was empty. So I like
so you're like, who could this be?
Yeah, I was like, what is going on in this room? And I walk in, and like basically I find this girl who has like fallen off the bed with the fitted sheets and everything, and I'm not going to go too far into detail for her like privacy, but she has fallen back and like got stuck behind, we have a really old house with radiators. Her head is stuck behind like the radiator pipe, and she's like legs in the air, like screaming, crying, like help me. And I was like, oh my God. And I like go and I try and pull up her arm, and like she won't budge because it was such like a tight little crevice. And I was like, oh my God, like I need to get some help because I can't lift you out of this by myself. So I run downstairs, go to this double, and I ask like these 2 girls, I'm like, can you please help me? Blank is stuck behind the radiator. And they were like, oh my God, what? And come running up with me. And we have to like take the mattress off. We bring it, like put the mattress like basically in the hallway, have to pull the bed off the wall and like pull her out. And I was like really, like I was shaking.
Yeah.
And she is freaked out. I was really freaked out by this. And then we like get her back into her bed, and it's like all is well again. And then I go downstairs, and I didn't have my phone that whole time either. And I look at my phone, and it's 7 a.m. Like I have no idea how long she was banging on the floor, like screaming for help, because I was like, it's so early. Or maybe she got back like crazy late, but it was so early in the morning. And at that point, the sun was rising. Yeah. And I I couldn't go back to bed, and I was like, everyone's asleep. And I like call my mom because she's an hour ahead, and I was like, it's 8 a.m. She'll be awake. I like tell her this whole thing, and that was really crazy. That was definitely the craziest thing that happened. Because I was really shaken up.
That's like the one time that you're actually glad the walls are thin.
Yes.
Yeah. And the floors are thin. You can hear everything in the house. Like even if you whisper, it's probably embarrassing what my neighbors have heard.
Yeah.
Like on both sides. Just I can't even call my mom and speak regularly.
Right.
Yeah.
They probably know a lot more about me than I think, but in that case, thank God. Yeah. What are other like funny, I'm trying to think of like couch surfing or like I don't know, just the random what you see when you walk out of your door, like our normal. I don't like I'm not even thinking about saying it because it is normal to me, and I won't realize that it's not obscure, but just out there until, I don't know, I'm living in an apartment with people not in our chapter, and I'm like, I'm really missing when they slid down like the 3rd to 2nd floor stairs with their mattress. And we did, or Rose's 21er where it was a what the fuck party. And the stuff. Or chaos. True. Yeah. And that curated our name for our PC group chat right now.
Or our living group chat, really.
Yes. Yeah. True. Do you have a day that's not your favorite day, maybe it wasn't like a happy time, but you associated with like, thank God for the house? Like, thank God I was in it. Like, for example, during the election, I don't think I could have been anywhere but the house. Yeah. And that's a really rare statement, I feel like, because as much as I love the house, there are so many times where I'm like, I wish I was just like back in the comfort of my own home in PA, like with my family, like they would get it. But I genuinely don't think anyone got the like sorrow and the just like existential doom and like care for one another than people in that house, especially considering like, I mean, Philly was one of the only cities or like sections of Pennsylvania to go blue, but the fact that it was overwhelmingly red, it went red in the end, and it was one of the like tipping states, and like it was just like, ugh, like I am sad to be from there right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so being in the house, like we were all in the TV room that like we've been talking about, like on the infamous couch, and it was like 30 girls probably of the 55 that lived in, if not more than that, who do you remember watching Kamala's concession speech?
Yes.
I will never forget that day.
I had a soccer game and I
I
didn't
don't
watch
think you
it.
were there, but
Yeah.
Really? I
Yeah.
would have skipped that.
It was,
I would have skipped that immediately.
Wait, was
I
that the next day?
Yeah.
Where was I? Because I wasn't there.
I don't think you
it
were
wasn't
there, 'cause
soccer.
I remember I was waiting for my sister to pick me up and we were all in there. And
Yeah, I don't
literally, like,
remember.
we all passed around a box of tissues. And I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
this
Ugh.
really...
Yeah.
And it also just felt really like vulnerable for a lot of reasons, but we were all in it together.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't often cry in public. I like try not to.
Yeah.
no.
And to just give up basically,
Yeah.
and to just like drop all your walls and like to sob together like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's also comforting because, like, a lot of people make fun of people for sobbing or crying over elections, which, like, anywhere else I would have felt embarrassed. But the fact that we all felt it, I
Yeah.
didn't.
Right.
And that
exactly.
was, like, not normal for me.
Yeah.
yeah, like it's all I'm like women had more to lose than men. That's not even an argument in this election. So
Yeah.
to have women in a like liberal state where people, like it's not really a question honestly in our sorority, and like maybe people will comment and be like, you don't have variety, or you shouldn't care about politics, whatever. But when we had a lot of conversations about this in the house too, about how it's just about fundamental human rights this time around. And so the fact that we were just all on the same page, you didn't have to be like looking over your shoulder. And
Right.
yeah, I sat to the right of the TV and like watched that speech, and I just looked around and I was like, I am so glad to be here and
Yeah.
nowhere else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then watching Barbie, there was a
Yeah.
ton of us. We like invited the PC below us to come watch, and like 2 girls in the house went to Trader Joe's and bought a bunch of snacks that they just bought because
This was like 2 days after maybe
yeah, I
Right
think
around.
concession speech. Yeah,
Yeah.
so we were all like just for a little more context, like again, really trying to bond in this
Yeah.
trying time. And
Yeah.
so we like hosted this sisterhood. But
yeah. No, I was gonna say like I thought that was really healing, and like watching Barbie is like the perfect movie for that. And it was just, I do think like, because I personally don't think I know the younger PC very well. I mean, I'm getting to know them more, but I think that was like the easiest way to bring everyone together, even though they were pretty brand new because it was early November.
Yeah.
So
maybe
yeah.
2 weeks, 3 weeks into
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We just all sat on the floor in the monologue at the end.
Yeah.
America Ferrera. That's her name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, America Ferrera delivering that whole speech, like
Yeah.
sobbing, passing around the tissues again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and that's the thing, is those kinds of moments where I feel like in an episode like this, you always have to say like, sure, not everyone's best friends. Like we're not sitting here saying we're everyone's best friends, but we
Yeah.
do have a genuine respect for one another, I feel like. And there's moments like that where you do have this unexplainable unity.
Yeah.
And so like as much as you try to bond and know everyone, there are like certain realities where it's just maybe not the case. But the whole like sisterhood that people like might make fun of or joke about, like I take it so seriously in times
Yeah.
like that.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I don't know, it's definitely a sense of belonging, and
Yeah.
you can't get that anywhere else, I feel like.
Yeah. 100%.
I also think our PC and our like live-in year has been really good. And like, yeah, we're not everyone is like super, like there are groups, but we all for the most part get along
Yeah.
and have like no issue hanging out with people outside of like your specific group.
Right.
Yeah.
Like even just like lunch, the fact that we all like, it's never like oh, they're sitting at that table, so I gotta sit at a different one. Like
Yeah.
no, we all, in my experience, have no issue like
Yeah.
sitting
With
and hanging
anyone.
out with anyone in the house.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is necessarily even just a sorority thing or like an our sorority thing, but our year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
hasn't been the case other years, and that isn't the case at other houses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it definitely is for like us and our like live-in group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how are you guys feeling about moving out, and are you kind of surprised about your reaction?
So Rose left today.
Yeah.
And leading up to her leaving, I was just like, I'm really excited to go home and be at home. But since she's left, I'm like, whoa, like this is actually hitting a lot harder than I thought it would. And like Rose is like no doubt the funniest person in the house.
Yeah.
And it's just like crazy that people, not that I don't know where the funny came from, but like just
Everyone
like
loves her. Basically.
everyone loves her,
Yeah.
and it's just like I do feel like we're gonna like feel her absence.
Yeah.
And I just think that I don't know, it's just crazy that the time has come to leave. And I didn't expect myself to be sad, but since she has left, I am.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I always kind of knew I'd be a little bit sad, but I've always been the person that's excited to go home.
Mm-hmm.
Like I love being home. I love my hometown. I love my hometown friends. But like I am going to be really sad to leave because
Yeah.
I don't know, I just feel like no matter where you go after this is like the only experience you'll ever have living with so many
Mm-hmm.
girls and like living with so many of your friends.
Yeah.
Like even if you live in a house with your friends, it's not like the same. Like we have this is like the most girls that I've gotten along with that I've been in such like a close knit space with. And I didn't have that in the dorms, even though a lot of people do. Like it's still really different from the dorms. And like it's just never gonna happen again. Post grad, even in college, like that just doesn't happen.
You can have 10 roommates, but it's never going to be the same as this.
Yeah.
Because there's also a comfort to just being in your, even like if you're choosing to be like alone for a second, the fact that you know
always have the option.
you have the option,
Yeah.
exactly. And just the knowing that you have 54 other girls around you and you can go at any moment, and like it feels comforting. Like it's never quiet, and like I would hate to be the last one to move out. I think that would hit
so depressing.
So yeah, I don't want to see this house empty ever.
No.
I know it's gonna be so like weird to see the house empty.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't want to be the last one here.
No.
That would not be fun. But yeah, I'm definitely
Yeah.
I'm sad about leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird to like put it this way, but it just meant a lot to me
Yeah.
to live in
Yeah.
and have this experience. And
No, yeah.
it's also just the same kind of vibe of you just had to be there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And so again, even
That's a good way to put it actually.
if-
Yeah.
like even if you go a year, a summer, whatever, without talking to some people, you're always going to have had that experience and that
Yeah.
appreciation for that
Yeah.
person, and no one else is going to get it, even if you live in a sorority house somewhere
Yeah.
else. I sincerely believe that our chapter is inherently different
Yeah.
than
yeah.
a lot of the UO chapters and a lot of like nationwide
Yeah.
chapters, just like the culture that we
Yeah.
foster
Yeah.
for like 9 times
Yeah.
out of 10.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. I also think the other thing is like girls that maybe next year I won't see like naturally around. Like it sucks to like I'm worried I'll lose like connections with them, because even people that I'm not like super super close with
Yeah.
but that I really like and like do consider like friends, maybe they're not my like closest friends,
Yeah.
but like once I'm not living in the house and not seeing them, like it's weird to like see where those kind of relationships will go,
Yeah.
because like I still really really like them and I
Yeah.
still
Yeah.
consider us friends, but it's like I'm not gonna see you like that often.
But at
That
the
will be
same
weird.
time, like I don't have any problem asking them to hang out.
Yeah.
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 So-
True.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I know solid facts about every single person in the
Yeah.
house.
Oh, yeah.
definitely.
Like I know,
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
know, the brothers, like people in
Yeah.
frats, like always talk about like when
Yeah.
they're going through pledging
Yeah.
process, like how you have to know where everyone's from and their names and stuff. Like
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
way, there's a lot of ties to that.
Yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like.
I was today, or like right before this. I don't know if either of you know about this, but right before like the summer before freshman year, some girl like DM'd a bunch of girls on Instagram and was like, "Hey, like you're in Oregon, like we should make a giant group chat." And we made a gigantic group chat. There's like 50 of us in the group chat. probably half of us actually go to Oregon, but Ellen and Fiona were in it, and like I was looking back and like scrolling through the photos, and I'm just like whoa, like I would have, and actually like Georgia was in it too, like it's crazy, like we came from that small little group chat to living together in a house, like it's just crazy.
Yeah. Any parting thoughts, anything that you want to say before we sign off?
Honestly, for me, I feel like people just have so many doubts and fears about living in a house.
Yeah.
But, like, just do it.
Just
yeah,
do
like,
it.
that's what I was
Just
going to
do
say.
it.
Yeah.
Because you're never going to be able to experience that again. If you miss this opportunity, you missed out big time.
Yeah. That's what I've been trying to tell my sister, because she
Yeah.
wants to go through recruitment, but she has no interest in living in the house. And I'm
No.
like,
I don't know why you would rush and not live in the house.
right. And honestly, like
part of
she's
it.
probably heard some things from me, and she's like,
Yeah.
okay, well, now I don't want to live in the house. And I'm like, okay, but 9 times out of 10, they're great experiences. There just happens to be the one experience that I go and tell you and mom about.
Yeah.
That, and you're like, ooh, I can't do that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no.
Like,
you
even
can.
if we didn't have a live-on requirement and we had a competitive process to get in the house,
I would want to do it.
I would want to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And I feel like also distinguishing like those experiences and still opting into it says a
Yeah.
lot as well.
Yeah.
And also, like, I feel like it's hard coming from the three of us who have our own rooms.
Mm-hmm.
But, like,
That is true.
sometimes, like, as much as I love having my own room, my room's perfect. It's the best place ever.
Yeah.
But I would have been so happy, and maybe in some ways happier, if I had been in a double.
I agree.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like you don't need to have a single to have like a good experience.
I agree.
at all.
Yeah.
And you don't even really need to live in a room to have a good experience.
Right.
Some people really do.
Also,
love the
like,
porch, which is shocking to
Everyone
me,
who
but-
are like when you think of like the big friend group in the house, most of them live on the porch.
yeah.
Also, for context, the porch is basically a bunch of beds in one room where like your closet is not in the same room. It's like I realize now jargon that people might not understand.
And
They're not
just
outside.
sleep there. Some schools call it the cold room.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I would just say just do it.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't regret
Well,
it at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. No regrets. The amount of stories
Oh my
my
gosh.
friends, my maybe kids, whatever, are gonna hear from
Oh
this
my
year.
gosh.
Oh my God,
Yeah.
when I go home and tell my friends some of these stories, like I told them my crazy floor, my
Radiator
Yeah.
story.
my
Yeah.
scary experience,
Yeah.
they were so shocked. They
Yeah.
were so shocked, and I was like, yeah,
I also think just like, because I tell Morgan like all of these stories, because like Fort Collins is
That's her hometown best friend.
Fort Collins is a pretty
it was so
mellow
different, so-
mellow college town, I would say. And like telling Morgan all of these stories about Eugene and like the things, like last night Eva walked from Pegasus with a box of pizza to Hilliard's, eating the pizza as she was walking, and like 4 people passed us on the street and was like, can I have a bite? And she was like, sure, and then just kept going. Like, I don't know, it's just like the not even community of Eugene, just like
the weirdness.
It's very eclectic.
yeah.
Very.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like think Eugene really, the people make the place in Eugene, definitely.
100%. It's not
Yeah.
the rain that makes the place.
No, it's the people.
Yeah.
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 Well,
Yeah.
I'm glad that this chapter brought us together.
Mhm.
I
and
know.
We got to live together this year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we'll live together in the future. This isn't a last.
No.
But
No.
all right, guys, signing off. Last things last, follow at HVU. Hear me out on the Instagram for more. We have video episodes on YouTube. And thank you so much for listening. I really appreciate it. And thank you two for coming on here on a Thursday night and kicking it.
Yeah.
No worries. Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. All right. I'll see you next Sunday, guys.